Is that?
This is Marchesa, and this is Swarovski crystal. They were nice enough to let me wear it. Well, I think it's a musical called Tuck Everlasting, which hopefully is coming in next year. A musical based on the children's book, directed by the director of Book of Mormon.
Working with Chita Rivera. My first Broadway show I ever did was The Rink with Chita Rivera, and the fact that I was now directing her was a pretty big thrill.
Oh, it means everything. It's your work's being honored in the most special way it can possibly be honored.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
I saw Pippin when I was 8 years old, growing up in New York City, and I loved it. And I think I wanted to bring this back to Broadway, to bring it back for all those people who've been waiting 40 years to see it, to introduce it to new young audiences, to touch that Fosse.
Oh gosh, I'm doing Jason Robert Brown's new musical called Honeymoon in Vegas that we're doing out at the Paper Mill in the fall with hopes of a Broadway transfer next year.
Really, actually very simple. I went into the room, had my audition, they were pretty amazed, and from there I started working on the workshop.
I think it's kind of ridiculous. Like, what are they thinking? To be recognized for something I love doing, it's kind of awesome.
She's the one that was very blocked. Who did you play?
One of the two. Well, which character? It was this genius, and then a young boy. I was not the
And everybody that's up for an award deserves to be up for an award. And if there's anything that's unfortunate about them, it's just there's a lot of people that are left out, a lot of shows that are left out. So I'm happy for all of them. But today, my favorite part is that I'm not nominated and I don't have to perform. So I can actually sit and relax and I can drink champagne and I can have fun.
That's great. They're all good. We all worked together really hard. You know, Nora not being there made it sad. But other than that, we had a wonderful, incredible time.
Sometimes it's easier if the person is not, living, so that you can create.
Actually, it's this really beautiful family, and all the kids have this incredible, infectious energy, and we do warm up together every day now, and I get fed a lot of energy from them, and I like to think that in a way I can give them some positivity back themselves, and I see little bits of myself reflected in their young eyes, and I've always sung ever since I was a boy, so it's quite cool to do it on such a big stage.
We're out there. We're out there, and we're coming up. I mean, you know, a lot of the directors behind me whose work I love are women and men, and we're hitting our stride. Absolutely. You know, that Tony Award season when Julie Taymor and Gary Hines won, that was the June that I moved to New York, so very exciting to be part of that.
And so we did a lot of readings of it. Linda had commissioned it, and so the circumstances were very different. The feeling of it is this overwhelming gratitude that I have to being home in this community again, and to be so generously gifted in this way. Both experiences are synonymous for me. And so I'm just really incredibly grateful.
So all of the tracks have to be upstage of those conveyor belts.
because I didn't want spike heels, and I wanted kinky boot heels going into the show. But those heels, that was a real challenge. Greg had to go back and forth to the makers, Tio Day and DeLuca Shoes, and get the right heel, and we kept whittling it down, so we could get the spikiest heel we could get that would still be able to stand the weight of the guy, 8 shows a week, doing what I'm asking for. So it was tough.
I thought as a designer, it was obvious to me from the beginning that the theater had to be self-sufficient, that it could be rotating and the scenery in the little miniature theater changing at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, also...
I used to write plays every 2 years when I was younger. Now it seems to be longer. So I'm just waiting for the right inspiration. So not writing now.
Yeah, so it was always just, you know, I was like constantly saying, okay, can we do it now? Can I learn something now? Can I go to circus school now? Can I go to Brooklyn? Can I go to Strap? Can I go to LA? So I was constantly on them because that's what was, I just thought that every player in the show should be in circus, and why couldn't the grandmother be? So
our play was extremely well received when we opened. It's been very well, it's been recognized by a lot of awards organizations, including the Tonys. We didn't sell a hell of a lot of tickets. We didn't do bad. Well, we weren't, you know, Broadway is kind of bottom line business. My understanding is Bet wanted the booth, so that's why we got kicked out.
We have a production coming in that we gained from the Royal Shakespeare Company called In the Heart of Robin Hood.
Billy might walk a little better than we did a show together, and he actually, when I was 21, and he put on his red pumps because who has red pumps? He just happened to have them in his closet, and he showed me how to walk in pump in heels, and so he probably was a little bit.
Part of what it means to be a director. So I'm thrilled, and I hope that it gives courage to young, aspiring women directors all over the world to charge on.
There were 9 nominees, 9 African American nominees this year. Well, that means there's hope for us still. Someone mentioned it to me one evening and said, "Did you hear the audience singing?" I said, "What audience? Singing where?" I don't know. I just wait until it comes to me. That's exactly what happened with the trip to Dublin. It just came to me.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is go to bed. That's the first thing. You know, in my 13-year absence, I did a lot of creating. I went to graduate school in UCLA in the screenwriting program, and I started writing, and I've written a few plays, and I think one of the things that George Woolf taught me was that you can't ever wait for someone to give you permission to practice your art.
And he called me and he said, "I'm writing a book for a musical. How'd you like to write the music?" And I said, "Fine." I didn't think of the whole thing like that, except when they got together, like, and yeah. I thought, they're going to the church of shoes. That's what makes Kinky Boots fun, and that's what it's about, diversity and acceptance.
Was that too arrogant? Because I didn't mean to be I've been talking to a lot of people. It's a little misty, and I'm in a better mood now. I changed my shoes. Have a great night, guys. Honestly.